Alright guys, so in this video I'm going to show you how to set up a vevor plotter start to finish. This plotter right here in particular. There's not a lot of information online about this plotter, so I figured I would make a video, try to help you guys out. So to start with, angle this at the plotter. Okay, so I'm going to take my film off. Alright, so when you get the plotter, it's going to come with a cut strip right here. I recommend you buy some of this Gorilla tape. This is the 1-inch, roll of it. And you're going to take that tape and you're going to line it up with, see how I've got it just close. You don't want it to overlap that edge right there. You're going to take that and you're going to go all the way down from end to end. See, this is the cut strip that it comes with. You can cut on that, but it's recommended that you cover it with a piece of Gorilla tape. So you got that. You're going to put that tape along the whole thing. It's a little tough getting it lined up, but you can do it. Okay. And then, so as far as your blade is concerned, I always take it like this. When you first get it, the blade's gonna be all the way over here like this. So what you want to do is hit offline, move it over to where you can unscrew this, to where you can unscrew this and take the blade out, the blade holder. Okay, I recommend a 30-degree blade. So what you want to do with this blade, see, there's the blade, but you see, you can't see that on the camera, but that, let me see if I can get it. I mean, that blade is just barely sticking out. You see how much that is? I can run my finger over it and it doesn't, just barely feel it. This is the most important part of setting up one of these plotters, any plotter. You can push this and that's how you change the blade, take it in and out, but you want to get a 30-degree blade. You want to set it to where just the very, very tip. See how much blade is out? I mean, just barely. You can also take this, once you get it in there, to see if you've got it out far enough. You can take it and lightly push on a piece of paper and drag it across. If it cuts, then you're good. So once you get that blade set, if you guys need help, knowing how far to set this blade, just hit me up. I don't mind helping. So once you get that blade depth set, you're going to take it, put it back in the plotter, and make sure that it's it's seated all the way down right here to where that little ridge on the blade holder is seated in that thing. Okay, tighten that down. Okay, now once you get that tightened down, I always like to take my blade and move it all the way over to where it's not going to be in the way while I'm setting my film on. Okay, and this is a 24-inch roll. You can put whatever size roll on here you want, but you always put the liner down. So you're going to take it like this, grab it, feed it through. I forgot to tell you, these pinch rollers right here, these right here, you want to have these things cranked all the way down. You only need 2 of them, one on each end. The other ones, just push them away, out of the way. But you want to have these cranked all the way down on this particular plotter. So and you're going to come back to put the film on the plotter. This is how I do it. There's many ways to do it. This is the way I've found it works best to make sure that it feeds straight. You're going to take it, you're going to overlap it like this so you can grab this side. So you have some on both sides. You're going to take it like this. You want, let me get this where you can see. So you want, when you put this on here, you want to take it, you see right here, I use this edge right here as a straight edge, right? So I'll twist the film, you know, back and forth until it looks like it's straight with that roller. And then you want to take it like this, tight. You want to push down on this side, same thing on the back side, like this, okay? So we get it lined up where we like it, nice and straight. And then I'm going to take my back hand and I'm going to hold down with my fingers and take my thumb and put it up on that roller, that lever. And once I got it straight, then I'm going to pop that thing down. Now that side's good. Now in order to do the other side, we're going to do the same thing. I run my hands like this to pull any excess film. And then I'm going to move this roller to where it looks like it's straight with the edge of the film. Once I feel like it's straight, I'm going to pull down on both sides away from, you know, the cut strip like this. I'm going to pull them this way also. Make sure it's tight. Then I'm going to reach up with my thumb, lock it down. Okay? Now, once I've done that, I always like to go over here, hit offline. You'll see the X and Y axis pull up, and then I'm going to feed some film. And while I'm feeding the film, I'm watching right here to see if it's straight or if I need to adjust the film. So let's give it a shot and see if I got it straight. You see how it's going off track? We don't want that. So we're going to pull it back. We're going to do the same thing again until we get it straight. So it looks like I've got it tweaked. So I'll lift the rollers up, pull it out, make sure it's straight. Once I like it, lock it down, come down here, do the same thing. Okay, now we're gonna feed it again and see if I got it straight. That time, I got it straight, okay? Once you do this enough times, you'll figure it out. But you see how this edge right here is not changing? That's what you want. That's how you know it's straight. And you're gonna get a true and accurate cut. I mean, it's not gonna ever be perfect, but you know, you want it to be close, okay? All right, so once you put your blade in, got your blade in the holder down there. Once you've got it in, and you got your film set up right, you know, it's in there nice and straight. You want to move your blade back. Move your blade back down. And you want it just on the outside of this roller, because these rollers are going to leave marks on the film, so you don't want those in your pattern. So we're going to set it right there. Okay, once you get it in position, then you're going to come over here and you're going to hit origin. That's going to mark it. That's a starting point. So we're just going to start cutting. Okay, now this is your pressure, your force. It's measured in grams. My speed, I keep it at 400. The force, whenever you're trying to set it up, you want your force, you want to start at 40, okay? This is very important. You want to start it at 40 and you want to cut. I cut little rectangles about 2 inches, about 2 inches wide, about, you know, it's a 24-inch roll of film, so I cut it about 15, 20 inches this way. So you want to start your pressure at 40, because if it's cutting through the liner, the film, if it's cutting all the way through, your blade is out entirely too far. So you need to take it out, adjust your blade, put your blade in some. At 40 grams, because we're shooting for, you know, 100, 150. That's where we want it to be cutting at. That's the perfect amount of pressure. So at 40, it should just be marking the film. It shouldn't be cutting it, right? So I'm going to cut a little test square on 40 grams, and then we'll look and I'll show you that it doesn't cut. It's not cutting through the film. It's just going to mark it. Okay, I cut my square. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to try to peel it. And it's not going to let me because I haven't cut through the film, right? Because my force isn't high enough. Okay, so now we're just going to up our force. It's at 40 right now. We're going to up it. We'll up it by, you want to do this in increments of 10. You know, we'll up it. When you're first starting out, you want to do it by increments of 10, but I know what mine's going to require. So we're going to go to 80, and then we'll cut it, and we'll see. Okay, now let's see what it did this time. Did it cut through the film? Nope, we're still just marking it. So now we're going to go up again. Okay, let's see what it did that time. So that time, it cut through the film, but it's not weeding good. See how it's not, see how it's starting to tear right there? It's not, it didn't cut all the way through the film. It cut through it, but not all the way, not what we're looking for. So now I want to up my pressure again. And I know mine cuts at 130 from where my blade is set. And that number is going to be different for everybody, right? Because just a millimeter of that blade being in or out is going to change where your force is going to be. So mine cuts at 130. I know because I've tested it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna up mine for the sake of this video to where it cuts through the film and the liner, so you can see what I mean. That's when it does this right here. That's when you know you need to back it up. You need to back up your pressure. Okay, now look, see? Look at that. See? That cut through the film and the liner. So if yours is doing that, you know, after you've set your blade and all that, then you went too high on your force. You need to back it up. And this is way through it. You know, it cut through it good. So I know that I need to back my force way up. That's why it's so important when you're doing this, when you're first setting one of these up to go up by increments of 10. Don't jump up by 10 or 20 until you know how. Don't jump up by more than 10 until you know how one of these works. So increments of 10 when you're trying to set your force. So it's cutting all the way through. I'm going to make one more cut. I'm going to put my force back to 130 because I know that's what mine cuts at. Okay, now this is how it should peel. This is what you want. Easy, one-handed, and it falls off. And when you're adjusting your force, trying to figure out what your blade is, or where your force needs to be, as soon as you lift it up, you need to take your hand and stick it under here and make sure that it's not cutting that liner at all. You just want it to cut the film. If it's doing this, your blade's out too far or your force is up too high. That's why it's important to start on a super low force. Once you start marking the film, that's when you know your blade depth is right, and you can just slowly, by increments of 10, up your force until it starts cutting. So I hope this video helped. If you guys need any help, please feel free to reach out. I help people on the daily. I know these things can be a pain in the butt to set up, but once you get it dialed in, it works like a charm. I know there's mixed reviews on this 53-inch vevor plotter, but dude, this thing cuts beautiful, man. It cuts like a $7,000-$8,000 Jaguar or Graph Tech. You know what I mean? So it's not about the machine. Once you get to a certain level with these machines, it's all about how you set them up. Don't blame the machine. There's 99% chance it's something you're doing wrong. So these things just take a little tinkering, adjusting until you can figure it out. But if you go by those guidelines, set your blade, your blade depth to where you can just barely feel it, and then start your force down super low, and then bump it up by increments of 10 until it starts cutting the film. If it cut all the way through, your blade's either out too far or your force is too high. But if it's cutting through the film and the liner at 40 grams, your blade's out too far. You need to take your blade holder out and readjust your blade. So that's a perfect place to start. But yeah, if you guys need any help, I hope this video helps somebody, man. Just please don't hesitate to reach out. I don't mind helping. All right, you guys, have a good day, and keep slinging that film.